So basically tonight we're going to be focusing on something a little bit different slightly. Basically what we're going to be talking about is how to build tactics and strategies for maps. This is all Strongholds training related. B, how to call a team, because here's something I don't know if everybody realizes. To build a strong team, every one of you should be able to, in some aspect, be able to call a strategy. Do you guys have to be great at it? No. Do you guys have to be the best? No. But I think to some extent you guys should be able to understand what goes into calling. And the third part of it is how to really lead a team. And that kind of goes with the first other two, is in general, in the overall, how do you act, how do you talk, and whatnot. And then also we're going to be talking about TeamSpeak etiquette. Now, before we go into battle, this is something I really wanted to talk about. TeamSpeak etiquette, there's kind of three different sections. One section is if just kind of relaxing around on TeamSpeak. Generally, like if we're all in the lobby or something like that, it's whatever those rules apply. But typically, something to consider if we're in a non-formal format, it doesn't really matter. But if someone's trying to say something, generally if... Oh, hello.
Have a good night, chaps.
Oh, hey, you too. But, I was just going to say about TeamSpeak etiquette. Generally try to make sure you guys are listening for if any of the senior staff are talking, for instance, the commander, intelligence officer, recruitment officers, JOs, anything like that. Just for a general case if there's information to be said. Now then there comes what's called battle comms, when it's pre, during, and post-battle. Pre-battle, typically, everybody should be relatively calm, listening for whatever the strategy is going over. In battle, you should be able to hear really only the caller, and if you're a part of the team, you should only be relaying relevant information. Now, how do you define relevant information? We're actually going to go over that in the match. And then finally, at the end of the game, after every game, even if it's a total loss or if it's a total win, you always do a quick little after-battle report, meaning you guys kind of discuss and see what went well, what went bad, kind of how to make it better. So some of these things I want to keep in mind is make sure, yet again, after-battle report typically should be started by whoever was calling it, kind of giving a summary saying, okay, what we did well, what we didn't do well, what maybe the caller screwed up, maybe what some people screwed up, not to place blame. But, guys, this is all about learning. This is part of World of Tanks University, and we're going to screw up. We're going to screw up a lot. I'm going to screw up. You guys are going to screw up. But the screw-ups don't matter as long as you learn something from it. That's the big thing. Now, taking from that, now let's actually go into battle and practice a few of the things. This is something that a lot of people even have, and even when I was doing Gold League and even Bronze League, it's kind of hard to tell what exactly is relevant information to report. Meaning, you don't want to tell your commander things like, I just took a hit for 10 damage. No, that's kind of irrelevant. It's things that are relative to the strategy. Now, this is something that I kind of want to focus on a little bit today, simply because it's kind of hard to know without someone really explaining what is relevant information and when to actually say it. So let's all meet in the middle, and we're kind of going to make a couple scenarios about what is relevant and what isn't relevant information. Yet again, this also goes along with the same things in battle. If you're in battle and the caller is speaking, and the battle is going on, for instance, he's having people move places and moving things, that's when you don't talk. But if there's a lull in the battle, like you don't see much going on, you haven't spotted the enemy, that's when you can kind of talk and maybe raise a few questions or a few things. So, for instance, if the caller's in the middle of saying, you know, Hellcat Cromwell, go to B2, and Type 64s, go to B6, and then move down the 7 line, and then that's not the time to raise questions, because typically, whether the caller's doing something right or wrong, let the caller be the one to make that decision and also take the blame for it. Put it that way. Because I will say, as we're going to have you guys start to call, nothing is more infuriating in this world than calling something and have people ignore it. Not because they don't mean to ignore it, but because they simply just weren't listening to follow it. They were too busy trying to say something. And the only reason I'm highlighting this, you guys haven't really done that. I'm not saying you guys have. In fact, you guys, when I've been calling, have never really done that. But it's something to keep in mind, because there are some people out there, I will say, that don't have much patience for it. And same thing when you guys are calling. Now, let's get back to what isn't relevant information. So, for instance, if the caller commands to, let's just say, for a T-37 to post up at E1, you guys know that really nice little scout spot over at E1 that we covered last week. So he posts up there, and he sees one KV-85 come down the road at G2. All he has to do is adjust with his, you guys know you can hold control and you can go click on the map to highlight sectors and whatnot. That's typically, in most style of format, if you see an enemy that's pushing, if there's one or even two of them not pushing en masse, you only highlight it. So, for instance, for my team that can see, and for everybody in the recording that can see, they say, oh, single heavy take at F6. You just ping it. And then if what the commander's supposed to do is give a quick affirmative. This is what's called the text information, the idea that you don't want to necessarily clutter up the chatter, and this is all assuming if there's something already being called. Now, that's different if, for instance, what happens if for 15 seconds no one said anything, and if I'm the T-37 E1 and someone comes down there, then I say, you know, oh, KV-85 F2. And you can even direction, KV-85 F2 going north. Bang. It's all about being short and succinct. So, when you guys are in battle and things like that, make sure you guys are relatively quick with your information also. But I don't know if you guys notice, I'm speaking clearly. And sorry if I sometimes speak a little bit quickly for some people. When I'm actually calling, I try to speak a little bit more slowly. But the whole idea is if you're reporting information, speak clearly, speak calmly, try not to rush what you're saying, because you'll eat up more time having to say something twice than just to say it once a little bit more slowly. You guys following what I'm saying so far?
Yep.
Hi. What about using the targeting, like, say I see the T-37 and just simply putting my gun reticle on him and
Yes.
putting my target?
That is also typically, this is something that's either used in two different ways. Either A, what happens with that typically is if the caller is shouting out a target, like if I'm on my team shouting out, you know, guys, what I actually do, if I'm shouting, alright guys, target is Lieutenant Sunflower in the EZ-8, everybody else on the team, while you're shooting at him, should quickly team up exactly like Loki did. And if you guys over there, if I say target is Aaron Basemaster in the VK-2801, all you guys on the other team should quickly just hit T while you're shooting at him. Now, that doesn't mean lose your shot because you're trying to hit T. But if you're in between reloads or if you're already looking at him or something, just quickly pop it up so everybody knows, because when you do that, they light up on the map, you know, so everybody kind of knows. And I would say T key, quickly doing that is a very good tool to use all the time. So you guys with me so far, right? You guys are...
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
Now, here's some of the rules for callers. First of all, this is before we really even get into strategy. This is just how to call. Number one, be clear. This is something that I think a lot of callers, I think some people sometimes forget, is the idea that, I don't know if you guys are aware, but when I usually call a tactic, I give you guys an overall strategy, and then I explain the details while telling you guys where to go. So, for instance, I'll give you guys an idea of a good call and a bad call. A bad call would be something like, heavies go down the 1 line, lights go down the 7 line. And then everybody's response is, well, where do you stop? What's the goal? What are you doing? What are you looking for? A good strategy, mind you, this is something like, for instance, if you don't have it rehearsed, were to say, like, okay, Type 64s, go down to E1, wait for spots. Type T-37, go to E4, wait for spots, play passive. My thing is, you got to be quick with descriptions about what you want them to do and what their intention is and why. Now, the reason is why is because if I send a bunch of heavy tanks up the 7, and if I'm from the south, I just say go up the 7 line, they don't know when to stop, they don't know when to go, they don't know what they're looking for, and you're not giving them an exit strategy. Second thing with calling is, even if the battle is going great or going terribly, you never really let emotion get in the way of it. You never want to hear a caller when a bunch of our team guys say, oh, God, guys, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, God. You never want to do that. Never show distress or anything like that. That's kind of that's actually really important with morale of a team. And I know I'm maybe going something a little bit more advanced, but this is also for YouTube for people to understand in the future, is the fact that the morale of the team is really key. And for instance, if I ever call a stronghold battle and I act really negative, it sets the mood in TeamSpeak. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. Have you guys ever happened where you're in the TeamSpeak and you guys lose a battle and suddenly the TeamSpeak atmosphere just turns sour?
Yep.
Yeah. That's what you want to avoid. The minute it turns sour, people start dropping off. People start not paying attention. They get bored. They get aggravated. They start leaving. And then the team kind of crumbles apart. I don't know if you guys have ever been aware, but a lot of matches, I always try to say, that's why you have the after-battle report, and you don't put any emotion in the calling. You just try and give out the commands you can. If you're going to lose, big deal, but you might as well go out swinging. And who knows, you might be able to turn out a victory. We've even had a few Stronghold games where, honestly, we should have lost. I made a couple pretty bad calls on one of them a few days ago. But we ended up just sticking with it and making the calls and trying to stick with the strategy and just doing it. So that's something to keep in mind for people to call. Now, there's a few more things to it, but I kind of want to talk about that a little bit more later. So are you guys with me so far on just a couple easy ways on how to be an effective caller?
Yep.
All right, awesome. Now, let's talk about tactics and strategy. Now, there are the 3 different pillars to any specific tactic or strategy that you kind of really want to know. And that is, what are your goals? When do you need to attack? When do you need to retreat? And when do you need to hold your ground? Now, this is something that's kind of key. Now, for instance, if we're on this map, and yet again, if I was on Team 2, over with Colt and Champster and Sunflower, and if I were to be using you guys, I would say, okay, you know, if I have the KV-85 go up to F6, and I have Lieutenant Sunflower go up to F5, and if the Cromwells go up to F3, you have to understand what you're doing in terms of when in that plan, if you don't see any enemies, do you attack and push forward or attack and advance? Do you retreat if there's too many enemies? When do you retreat and how? And this is how we're going to get to a little bit further. And finally, the final pillar is when to hold your ground. When is it worth staying around there and taking the chance for them to attack or vice versa? When are you going to let them make the move? That's just kind of playing defensive. Now, when you're calling and making a map strategy, the biggest thing you guys want to do is to discuss what the strategy is and what a good team composition is and how to make both work. So, for instance, what does a strategy have to do? The strategy has to win you the game in this, obviously, but you must pick which way to win. So, for instance, on Prokhorovka, typically, if you're on a stronghold game or anything like that, you usually don't get to cap, because if you guys notice, both the caps are wide open. This is not necessarily a map that you can win by capping, unless the only time is the team is on the 7 through 0 line, because you have this whole entire railway as a massive boundary. So unless you secure the 1 through 5 line completely and they're forced on the 7 through 0, you have to kill them all to cap. So whenever developing a strategy, you have to understand, are you trying to kill them all or are you trying to cap? Then second of all, you have to figure out within that strategy, what tanks do I need? And this is what's called tank composition or team composition. This is where, for instance, if you're playing on a map like Himmelsdorf, what do you want to take? All Bulldogs or all IS-3s? You're probably going to take all IS-3s. Why? Because the map supports heavy tank gameplay. Well, why? Because it's a city. It's more, you need the better alpha damage and the better armor and things like that. That's why if you guys see me when I do Strongholds, Lieutenant and I differ, because I usually go a very mobile lineup. Because I like to flank and maneuver and be able to react, whereas Lieutenant likes the armor and the firepower. He knows his goal is to treat it one way, whereas mine is the other. So, for instance, let's look at a particular strategy for something like Prokhorovka. So, if we were doing Tier 6 Strongholds, mind you, if I'm correct, we've never actually played a Strongholds map on a Strongholds game on this map. I don't know if this is in the rotation. Have you guys played it at all? Because I know I have not.
Yeah, we have.
We have?
Maybe once. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually.
I don't remember. I know lately we've been
played
seeing
it a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
with VKs and stuff.
Now, granted, I will say I'm going with a game type that you can't quite pick the tanks before you know the map. But the point being, it's kind of building a strategy around a map with the tanks that you have. So, for instance, you guys know with the training we've already done with Prokhorovka, that in the south you have two options. You already know for the fact you can go to F0, G0 on that hill to try and hold it with some medium tanks, maybe some lights and some heavies. You can send heavies to the EF line near EF 7 through 9, near the city area, or you know you can send them up the 6 line. You know for a fact that the 1-2 line is an area that can be pushed, unless you probably should put a scout, and you know for a fact along EF 3 through 5 is where most of the lights and the mediums go. So you know that's the usual case. So what you do is you plan your tanks accordingly, mean, okay, where are they likely to push? If the enemy team's heavier than you, are they going to put the heavy tanks where they should go? That's why you set up scouts. So for instance, let's take this example of Team 1 versus Team 2. So you guys got a KV-85, 2 Cromwells, an Easy 8, and a VK-2801. You guys, logically, the rest of you guys, all the mediums and lights, would end up taking the hill along FG0, while the KV-85 would probably go to F6. Now, that F6 area, meaning the area on this side of the tracks, like right over there. The reason being, the KV-85 could spot for the hill and shoot on the other side of the hill, while the rest of the mediums and lights could shoot down and help him. Whereas vice versa, if we're on the northern team, looking at it thinking, oh, they're probably going to go hill, where you know what? We're going to go down the 1 through 3 line and maybe send a guy over to E5 to scout out their heavy. Or what happens if they go the 1-2? Well, okay, that's fine. We'll send our Type 64s up here and a VK-28 over there to watch. You guys see what I'm saying? You kind of have to look at their lineup and see where they're going to go, but that also requires map knowledge. So doing strategies like this is where we're going to start going through some of the maps. That's why on usually probably Mondays and Tuesdays, I want to start going over through some of the maps about the usual strategies, so you guys can understand exactly what to expect and where the advantageous positions are for tanks. Now, yet again, here's another part of this strategy that, if you're building one, you must realize. Have to know the weaknesses and strengths of your team, meaning, Team 2, if you guys had a full team featuring another KV-85, you guys would have more armor and more alpha. Whereas this Team 1 over here, we have more mobility, less alpha, but more DPM. So we know we don't want to be in a situation where we're trading alpha damage. We know, and you guys all know what alpha damage is, right? You guys know that terminology?
Yeah.
Does anyone not know? Okay, moving on. So we know for a fact we want to keep our guns singing, want to keep our guns shooting, so we want to flank you guys and leave you guys out in the open. So that's what our goal is going to be. Second, avoid letting the enemy use your weaknesses. Meaning, for instance, we know for a fact we don't want to be poking up and shooting at these guys. So, for instance, if myself and the KV-85, if I am sitting back here, and I just keep popping up this ridge to trade one shot with the KV-85 with Colt over and over again, I will lose every time. You want to avoid doing that. You say, okay, I'm going to lose that engagement.
But he has less gun depression than you.
Well, yeah, but he can still hit me. My point, the whole point is being not necessarily that if he can or can't, but the point being that if I were to poke around and play the alpha damage game with him, I'm going to lose, so I not only have less hit points, but he does more damage than I do. So that's not going to work. I can out DPM him, which case I just flank around the side. So the point being, don't let the enemy do that to you. And always have an escape plan. This is something that on some maps is quite hard. On a map like Pro Rover, it's actually quite easy. Escape plan meaning, aka, have a backup plan or have an escape route. So, for instance, yet again, all you guys going to FG0 down the south, one of the strategy I was talking earlier, you guys have an escape plan, which is going down the O line, down the south to H0 and J0, and then going around back to even your own base, or even going up to F8-9 into the city, or you can even crest and go down the F0 line, and then over to the base. Now, here's the issue with the KV-85. That's where he doesn't have an escape plan, because where does he go? If he tries to go to the city, he has to cross over the railroad tracks over there and risk getting shot. His only escape plan is to go back into the bushes back there, which then becomes an issue. If you can look at and see where their positions are, where do they have to escape to? They don't always have an escape route or a place to go. Now, this is something that you also must consider. Is you have to have a goal for any push or action, meaning if all my light tanks and all myself are going to advance on U3, we have to have a goal or a set, we have to set goal or set plan to see what is our objective. What are we trying to do? Am I trying to take out the KV-85 first, the Cromwell, the EZ-8? And what am I doing past that? Yet again, is our goal to cap or is our goal to kill you all? Are you guys following me so far and seeing why I'm going through this kind of process?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, good. And then finally, and this is something that is somewhat different, try to gain as much map control and visibility as possible without conflicting with the previous statements. Meaning that essentially if you can gain this map control and map visibility among most of a map, you already have a chance of winning because you have information. Information is extremely key. If you know where the enemy isn't, you have a pretty good idea of where they are. So if we can rule out, if we know for a fact they are not at anywhere F1 through 6, and if they're not at E7 through 0, we know for a fact, we know they must be only a couple different locations. So we start searching and poking and trying to maneuver to do so. The whole point being, this is where that concept of that we saw yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday, I think. Or was it the day before? It was the day before. About the whole idea. Oh, actually, no, it was yesterday. Sorry. About when you guys were doing the teams. About do you go as a unit, as a whole group, and risk having less visibility over the rest of the map? Or do you spread out and have more visibility, but in the different units have less strength. So you kind of lose your strength when you spread out over a wide area. So I'm assuming you guys are following me so far. Are there any questions so far, comments, concerns? Is there anything like that?
I have one. What is your opinion? Let's say, like, you know, the commander's holding down a situation in a different side of the map, and 2 tanks have been sitting, waiting for a flank or an opportunity, but, you know, have not really gotten that call. Do you think, like, you know, in that time you could suggest anything, or are there no suggestions?
Here's where you have to learn. This is a different thing. You have to learn everybody's different commanding style, and this is why I want to try to familiarize everybody with calling. Now, there's 2 different ways to solve that problem. Either A, I'm the kind of commander where I take suggestions very well, and I like to work with everybody on the team, but some people, maybe they know what they're doing and they want to do it. That's why typically as a commander I suggest. That's why I suggest the buddy system, because, for instance, if both the Type T-64s and I elect Quixotic, if you two are going, if both my Type 64s, if I say to you guys gotta go down to K1, you guys gotta hold that. And then I say, Quixotic, you take lead. That's the instant meaning I am trusting you to lead the both tanks, or however many tanks in that group, to make decisions based on my overall statement. So if I say, all right, Type 64s, you guys got to move down to K1, and then you guys got to have to start scouting near their base and trying to kill whatever tanks you can. Then Quixotic is going to say, Quixotic now takes over control of those tanks that I've given him, and he tries to make that happen. I'm a big fan of letting people do that, because not only does that give somebody else some training in leading a group in a battle situation, but it gives the commander a little bit more flexibility to look at the rest of the map and the situation. This, I will say from experience, you cannot have 100% of control of your commanding the entire time. If you try to, your brain just can't handle it. There are a few people that can, and to those people I say kudos. You're great, but I know for a fact I can't. I do very well with handling 99% of it, but when you're in a battle, like, guys, when we get into like tier 8 and tier 10 strongholds, we're going to have 10 or 15 people. And there will be times where it's smart for the commander to divvy up and say, you take this squad 1, this platoon 1, or this platoon 2, or this. Divide up so that the caller then is giving general commands. It's like a general strategy, and each of your platoons are doing the smaller tactics to make it happen. So does that kind of answer your question on how?
Yeah, and you have to have synergy with the commander to know exactly what he wants in that situation, so...
Yeah. Which is exactly why I really promote the idea of practice, and I really promote the idea of everybody that wants to, you guys should be more than willing to try and call and try and lead. That's why I always promote platooning, because what I usually do with people is, usually when I platoon with even my friends and even other people, we always say, you know, who's calling the platoon? And then someone calls a platoon and we'll just follow the call. Whether it's to death or whether it's to glory, you learn something from it, and that's the big key. So, alright, now that we've kind of gotten over some of the formalities out of the way and everything else, is everybody following me so far? You guys all happy with it?
Yep.
You guys happy to talk about? Alright, good.
You got a training room open, invite Black Wolf.
Alright, awesome. Once we do the second one, we will definitely invite you in. The second one's not going to be that long at all. So, here's what we're going to do now. Here's a really quick one. I want to see who is really listening. And I know this is going to sound somewhat high schoolish, but I want to make sure I got the point across. Who here wants to give me a good idea of what a good call is? Meaning, you're in a battle right now and you need a couple tanks to move somewhere. Give me a good idea of what a good call is.
Can I try?
Sure, go right ahead.
So be very specific, as in, don't tell them just to head a certain way, but when to stop, how far to go, and what their goal is over there.
I would agree.
And ping the map.
Oh yeah, definitely if you can, always ping the map.
Okay, I got an idea. Drag forward if you're talking so we know who's talking. Makes it a little easier. But what your basic thing was to have a plan and make sure that what you're saying is short and concise, so you know the person is getting the information and you're not taking up too much time getting it out. Make sure that they have a backup plan so they're not just stranded out up there. And make sure that you have a plan either based on keeping vision of the map or grouping. You have to decide which one you would want and plan accordingly.
Exactly. Now, when I'm talking about those general strategies, that is obviously very simple. A lot of these maps get rather complicated with all the different ways, the offensive and counter-offensive, and ways to counteract anything you do. But I will say, I'm just trying to give you guys a simplified version, and I'm trying to give you guys somewhat of a list to go through your head when you try to think of a strategy and trying to call. Things to keep in mind and to strive for, so that, for instance, when you guys, starting in the next couple days, are going to start be facing each other in these team battles in terms of, like, in the actual training room, you guys will understand and be able to look at each other and see, okay, you know, what did you do well, what didn't you do well, how do we make it improve, and whatnot. So does anybody have any final thoughts, questions, concerns before we end this training room and we move on to the next one?
Nope, just that you invite me for the next one, please.
All right, awesome, that'll happen.
One thing, when you make a call, when you make a call and you order somebody to go, let's go B1, hide behind the rock, and shoot whatever you see, give them a little bit of leeway to use their own discretion. And don't yell at them if they make a mistake.
No. I will say we're all learning here. None of us are professionals at this game. I have met and talked with some of those guys. Those guys practice a lot more and a lot harder than what we're doing. And second of all, it's all about learning, guys. If you guys see an opportunity, you try to take it and you fail, the only thing that you can do to fail is to not remember that and not learn from it. So, for instance, if I tell a bunch of guys, hey, you know, go up, just what you were talking, go over here and just try and shoot things and try and kill stuff, and they overextend or underextend, that's just all part of learning. The only disservice you can do is to not talk about it afterwards. That's the big thing. If you guys screw up somehow, just mention it like, oh, yeah, I shouldn't have pushed out around the rock. There were more guys there. I should have scouted. Always figure out the way. How do you fix that for next time?
And the best learning in the world, RNG will undo in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. That is true. And, guys, this is a game where crap happens. You can plan for the best things, and I will say from experience, one of the games that we had in the Bronze League, 2 of our IS-3s got ammo racked, first shot by a bulldog. And we're like, well, there goes that strategy. You know, we did all this planning, we know exactly what we're doing, and a bulldog just killed 2 of our IS-3s in 3 shots. Great. Yeah, it happens. That's not to say it was a bad strategy or a bad call or anything. That's part of RNG, and it's gonna happen. Oh my god, Cat, can you please get away from my computer? Stay there. Anyways.
It's a taser. A taser works fine.
Oh, dude, she's 21. I don't want to do that to her. God, she can almost legally drink.
Don't do that to any cat.
I agree. But, alright, so any final questions, comments, concerns before we move on to the next one? No? Alright, so...
We get to kill each other.
Yeah, let's have a little, yeah, you know what? How about this?
No hiding. Everybody kill each other.
Oh, yeah, I would say everybody be out in the open. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ready to fire.
Well, that was terrifying.
Track hit.
I feel like I was targeted.
Damaged.
Oh, wow. Talk about being focused out. Jesus. Talk about being focused out.
You're calling us all. You're telling us what to do, so you're the most dangerous one.
That's true.
Don't you see this cover? Get in there, VK! Get in there!
I'm amazed the 76 on this Easy 8 penetrated the gun mantlet on the T-37.
I'm not.
I tried to pick a really glancing angle. You know, give it the benefit of the doubt. It still went in.
That armor's made of Charmin and Dreams.
And the occasional bounce.
The tanks is not really. It is really underwhelming.
Oh yeah. Alright, Black Wolf is here. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do, guys. Let's put some of that to practice. So here's what we're gonna do.
I know this tier 6.
This is gonna take a little bit of time. Yeah, we're gonna be running tier 6s. Does anybody else need an invite? Awesome. I Kill You for Fun is in here.
Yep, Karma, please.
Karma, please. Alright, I'm sending a mass invite out to the clan.
Alright,
so
I'll
you
be
should
in
have
a
it.
second.
Awesome, because then you'll be able to even up the teams. Quick. Because here's what we're gonna do. Is I am now going to throw you guys in and leave you up to what the training I was just telling you and see if you guys... Now, I'm going to have you guys both separate into Platoon 1 and Platoon... Actually, what's going to happen is Team 2 will move down to Platoon 1. Only because I don't want to minimize this because I'm recording and yada, yada, yada. So basically what's going to happen is once we get Karma in here, Karma will join Team 2. And you guys might want to talk to yourselves about finding someone who wants to call, and you guys want to form a strategy, whether to be together or someone. And then you guys work together with the tanks and whatnot. Let me know when you're ready. And the whole point being, this is not to win or lose, but this is to learn. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about winning or losing. You guys can try some loony stuff. You know, if you want to march everybody down the middle, who knows, you might win. You know, that's something to consider with any strategy, is sometimes the weirdest thing, most wacky thing, will throw the other team off and win. Because as I don't know if you guys remember, last time we played Himmelsdorf a while ago, we just sent everybody up the middle and we won. By a lot. So it was kind of funny. But that point being, so Karma, once you're in, we'll throw you to Team 2. And then whoever on Team 2 wants to call, does anybody in Team 2 want to call?
Awesome, Black Wolf, I'll try it.
Alright, awesome, Black Wolf. I appreciate it. And what you guys might want to do also is you guys are more than welcome to switch out tanks yet again for any other Tier 6. If you guys want to talk to each other, I really promote you guys all talking to each other and trying to formulate a plan of some sort. And in team training, just hit OK. Just type OK to me, or you guys are ready whenever you guys feel like it, alright? You guys all follow me here?
Yeah. Roger that.
Alright,
good.
Awesome. So if you guys want over on Team 2, just hop on down to Platoon 1.
Left your channel.
Alright, so on Team 1, who wants to call?
Left your channel. User left your channel.
I guess I'll try
User
it.
Left your
Koala.
channel.
Hey, awesome, quick exotic. Alright, awesome. So if you want to call, then I think everybody is everybody on Team 2 down in Platoon 1. That would be you, Karma.
I'm moving in a second.
Okay, no problem. I'm just giving you crap.
No spying.
Sunflower.
User left your channel.
I can't have any. Oh, Delta Phoenix is in here. What?
So I wonder if there's a better channel for this.
What do you mean?
Besides, is there like a team-on-team battle room?
No, I wish.
I don't know anything about it. That's why.
If I could, I would have a sub-channel under Training Room. That'd be Training Room 2 and then Training Room 3. I would have Training Room 3 for being people that are spectating. Because eventually we're going to get to the point where we're going to have some spectators and things like that.
Yeah.
But, alright, so on Team 1, Quixotic, you feel like calling. So, here's my question to you. Yet again, putting everything else into practice, what kind of strategy do you want to do? Do you want people to change tanks, ask what people have? You know, go through the usual process.
User joined your channel.
Maybe we shouldn't do that while Sunflower's still in here.
Sunflower!
Oh, yeah,
well,
Lieutenant!
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize he'd moved me to the other side.
Oh, yeah.
User left your channel.
He's a spy, I tells you.
Yep.
He's a spy. Alright, Delta, if you want, go join Platoon 1, and they will fill you in with all the details. Are you there, Delta Phoenix? Delta Phoenix! Cat, get out from under my computer. Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's a cat for you.
I know your pain, but I train my cats.
Well, see, here's the thing, is she's also a barn cat, so, because I got horses and stuff, and she's indoor, outdoor, and she's an awesome cat, but...
You got a hybrid.
Well, here's the thing, she's like 21. Like, she's at the point now where we used to have her trained and stuff. At this point, she just doesn't care. Mm-hmm. She's just like, no, I've earned this. No. You think you can tell me?
Actually, Lachlan, do you have a faster tank than the Easy 2?
I do, but I kind of excel at heavily armored vehicles. But I can switch. I have much faster, like Type 64 or Cromwell B or...
Oh, a Cromwell B.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have you in the Cromwell B.
Alright.
Now you messed up. See, now everybody knows you have a Cromwell B.
I know, right? The thing is, I'm mediocre with it.
And we still need Delta to leave our channel.
He's a spy! They should give some of the officers the ability to drag people into other channels.
I can't put anybody in a training in an interview room to interview them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it would be a handy feature for the officers to have.
I agree.
Is that a miss-site or just the way it is?
I guess.
I will say, for YouTube purposes, I will say that it's the way that they want to do it right now. Because I guess they don't have the perms all figured out. Because, as I said, it's like a faucet. Either you get perms to do everything or nothing. So, it's up to them.
Yeah, just curious.
Yeah. But, alright. So, Quixotic, what are you feeling? Are you happy with the lineup?
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, do you have any sort of overall strategy or plan at this point?
I do, in fact.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Are we just waiting for Delta to leave?
Yeah.
Oh my god, Delta! Delta Phoenix! We need you to move to the other team. Platoon channel, please.
Bang.
Your team's on another comm.
Delta Phoenix, they are at Platoon 1. See, this is why I wish I had perms to just move people.
User left your channel.
Yay!
Exactly.
Moved.
He moved.
Okay.
It's amazing.
All right, Raylan, do you want to join us here?
Yeah, let me.
Because are you not on yet?
No, I'm not.
How long till you be on? Or are you logging on now?
I'm logging on now.
All right, cool. You have tier 6s, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a fast tier 6 or a mobile tier 6?
T37.
Awesome.
Perfect.
I think you guys underestimate a good piece of armor. Just saying.
The thing is, Leplin, I'd rather not have one player be...
Quixotic, it's Keel here. Just let you know, I have bad ping, so you might want to keep that in mind.
Okay. Yeah, so, Leplin, I'd rather have the entire team be able to move together as a unit, and with the Easy 2, you're going to be slower than the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Dang it, I forgot to take out my mods. We'll do that after this.
I just like having something that you could, instead of like having somebody with a weak armor go poke his nose out, you could have somebody with thick armor go out and take a couple shots.
Alright, Raylan, just let me know when you're in.
Yeah.
Or Rob. Should I call you Raylan or Rob?
I don't care which.
Okay.
People butcher my username, so that's there for...
How are you supposed to say that? I just say Rayland or Ryland?
Yeah, it's whatever. It's not actually a real name.
Okay. As long as it works. Good. I'm really glad they're discussing tactics over there. I like to hear that. I hope they're all discussing away. And what's going to happen in the future, guys, is what's going to happen is when Lieutenant is going to be on more often, I'm going to have him on the other team, and he and I are then going to be spectating, and we're going to be recording the spectating when it's just going to be all you guys doing all the work when we get there in a couple weeks. So it'll be really interesting.
You know what you should do, right? They're going to probably speculating that we're going to use this map. You should switch the map to give them some, intermediate panic.
Just
right before we begin, just go to Himmelsdorf. Just right before.
Exactly. Just roll them a curveball.
So, if you want to really be mean, develop a tactic for this map, then while they're planning, change the map, and then right before we enter the room, go back to Procure.
I don't know, maybe I might have some fun with that tomorrow night on Friday.
User joined your channel.
Sounds good.
Yeah. It would be kind of like a stronghold since you never know what map you're gonna get.
Hey, Soft Spread join. How are you, dude?
Doing good.
Hey, Raylan, you in here yet?
Yeah, just loading up. Client's slow because of the mods.
Yeah, I hear you.
What are you guys doing?
We are doing some training currently. Right now the teams are even. However, right after this one, I think I can invite you only because I've been trying to get teams even. I mean, if you want to join, you can. But I think I might... You know what? How about this? Are you the same name in game?
Yeah.
Add to friends list. Invite to tattoo you, and I'll stick you on team 2. If it's a little bit out of balance, big deal. I don't think that's going to be the biggest worry.
Okay, is that coming from you, the big...
Yep.
Alright, accept.
Yep. I'll give you, and then if you can, just swap down to platoon 1, because we're going to be doing some team-on-team combat.
Alright, awesome.
Awesome.
User left your
Just
channel.
waiting on Rob.
I need an invite real quick.
Awesome, I shall. Yet again, I really want to get into these battles, so I'm really curious to see how this is going to go.
I'm excited.
Same.
I used to do a lot of Clan Wars and Battlefront 2, and that, I've been dying for more.
Star Wars Battlefront 2?
Yep.
Dude, that was the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Lachlan,
god.
I am going to have you switch back to the Easy 2.
Yes!
Lachlan happy.
I mean, yes, sir.
Alright, Black Wolf says they're ready.
Alright, awesome.
What's our plan?
Alright.
Okay. So Boltoff and Aaron Bassmaster, I'm gonna want you on the 1 line. So Boltoff, you're gonna stay back in the bushes. Bassmaster, you're gonna scout ahead. Boltoff, you're in command of the two of you, and I'm gonna let you sort of use your discretion there, since you are the one who has the better gun.
Roger.
Lachlan, I'm gonna want you to go up sort of the middle of the map, directly on the west of the railroad tracks. If you know the area that I'm talking about, there's a nice little hill there, and you can use the Easy 2's gun depression. I'm gonna want you to peek over that and
hey, Big Polly, you got a tier 6?
Currently no, buddy. I'm just listening to you guys.
Oh, okay, because we'll begin. Alright, so keep going.
The rest of us are going to roll up the hill. And then, Lachlan, if there isn't anything in the middle, you're going to give us fire support on the hill, and if there's nothing on the hill either, I want you to relocate west and help out Boltoff and Aaron Bassmaster.
Roger that.
I'm just trying to figure out did Delta leave, because it says he's left on there, because if he did, then that means...
Just to let you know, I do use the derp, but I'm quite a good shot with it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I too use the derp. Not that there's many other good guns on this tank anyways.
Alright, so I am ready to go.
Alright, I'm just tapping in chat. Are they ready to go? Usually doesn't take this long, but...
Got folks.
Right.
They're ready.
Alright. So you might have to double say your strategy, Quixotic, usually when we get into game, but that's okay. I usually always repeat it anyway.
Pound it out again.
Okay, so, Boltoff, I'm going to want you in Delta 1. Bassmaster, I'm going to want you in Foxtrot 1, scouting for Boltoff. Lachlan, I want you in Echo 5-6. The rest of us, so that would be the T-37s and the Cromwell, we're going to go 0 line.
Okay, we're going where to 0 line?
We're going to go to Echo 0 and then push up the hill.
Sounds good.
So, like I said in the briefing, Boltoff, you are in charge of that side of the map, so make sure you let Aaron know when you're in position and tell him when it's safe for him to move forward.
Roger that.
Not bad, not bad. Just keep in mind if they do a center line push, Lachlan, you're going to have some fun over there. So just keep an eye out. Now see guys, see how I added in there when there was some calm and there was nothing being said? That's usually the time to add something.
Scout F1.
Alright, engage that T-37 at your discretion.
Multiple targets, G1.
Yep, okay. Lachlan, I need you to move over to the 1 line and help support them. hill. We're going to rush in behind them.
Is our goal to cap, or is our goal to spot, or is our goal to kill?
Our goal is to flank them and kill them.
Alright.
There's a lot of open ground between us and them, though. Just warning. Maybe head north once over the rail tracks to G4.
That's a good point. I would like that a lot. So we're going to go to G5, where there are those bushes.
They're pounding my hull.
Scratch that. Fast cap.
Fast cap? Alright, so we need 3 on cap.
On the way.
Oh.
Target acquired. Penetration. Target unlocked. Penetration. Penetration. One of our tracks is damaged.
Focus that T-37.
We've lost some ammo, but at least it didn't explode.
Now the other kills. 5916.
Into his.
We're done for. Everyone get out.
Alright, focus that T-37, and then take the Cromwell.
Cromwell's done.
Good job. Not a bad call. Not a bad call, not a bad strategy. I will say the only critique I would have is, you know, you had guys on the one line that were just hanging out and staying near the center. I might have had them push in, or maybe called that, but yet again, your strategy might be a little bit more laxed. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not right or wrong.
User joined your channel.
Yeah, this is my first time calling.
Yeah, no problem. Hey guys, alright, can you guys tell everybody to Platoon 1 to join up?
User joined your channel.
I'd like to address everybody. Alright, so is everybody from Team 2 up here?
Yep, except for Delta.
Yep. Delta.
Alright, awesome. So, not bad strategy you guys had. That's not a bad one at all. The only thing I would say is if we're going to do another run of this again, and I want to see if you guys can improve on that. Meaning, you guys had a good strategy of keeping everyone together. The only issue you guys had was you guys got surrounded. We had guys to the north and to the east and to basically directly horizontally. So you guys were surrounded on basically, technically 2 sides, but more like 90 degrees. So basically you guys were on the corner is the point. Maybe you guys can refine that by maybe calling your guys' focus fire on me wasn't bad. I would say for you guys maybe focus a little bit more on trying to focus fire people, because with all of us being in the cap and all of your firepower being so close together, you guys could have potentially focus fired basically our 3 guys who were on cap out pretty quickly. So you guys maybe might want to have a little bit more lights here and there, maybe to get a little bit more vision up to see what we're doing. I'm not saying it's the right or wrong way to do it. I'm just making suggestions. I'm trying to let you guys learn, just so you know. It's not my goal to say it's right or wrong, but just to learn. Did you guys at all do like a little after battle thing and just try and talk about that battle? What happened?
No, we just came back up here.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys want to throw in maybe, because I didn't hear what's happening over at Team 2. Yet again, as I said, when this becomes done really well, Lieutenant will be on Team 2 or vice versa, and we'll both be recording and kind of listening. But I just want to kind of hear what was happening, what was going on over at Team 2, like pre-battle, during the battle, and things like that. How was it over there?
All right.
I'm not, you know, I don't do battle calling. I'm not a very good leader. So I had the strategy, but I pretty much left it up to the people on the team to determine where they, you know, how they were going to work. We had the basic strategy to go up there in that line, but you guys got over that bridge, over that railroad crossing so bloody fast, it was like we didn't get anywhere before you were on our flag.
See,
now, the thing is, if you'd have held back another 45 seconds, we would have been up there dealing with that Hellcat and never would have been able to get back at reset.
Yes. See, that's what's called the pace of battle, and the idea that in this game, especially with how fast it can get, things can happen extremely quickly. And that's always the issue. If you guys aren't used to calling and things like that, making strategies, it'll just happen. So that's something to keep in. Oh wow, we lost Raylan over here. We lost Rob. Shamster, I guess, is not there.
Yeah, he logged off.
What?
Oh, did he like log off as in he just said he was getting off?
Yep.
Oh, he had to get off? Alright, that's fine. You guys, Raylan, Rob, just let us know when you get back.
I'm here.
Alright, cool.
Oh.
Alright, we're going to switch you over only because... so here's what I want to happen again. Can we run this again? If different people want to call, that's fine. If same people want to call, that's fine. Different strategies and whatnot. Our whole idea will be... Actually, I'm going to stick Karma over here and Delta over there. So basically, here's what I want to do. I want to run it again. Hopefully, you guys can learn. Now,
user joined your channel.
What we're going to do eventually is we're going to be switching out people and things like that tomorrow when we do a little bit more of this. But I just want you guys, hopefully you guys can learn from this and just keep noting. And also, if you guys are calling, there's different styles of calling. Yes, you could be like that and be more laid back. But that's also, I would usually say you can only really be laid back if the team really knows what they're doing, if they're well seasoned at what they're doing. For instance, when I used to do 7x42 format for team battles in the Bronze League, we all knew exactly what we were doing because we rehearsed it a lot. This is something that we're all still really new to. So in which case, you might have to give out a few more orders. If it's not your style, then maybe you want to divvy out your commands to a few more people. But when you leave 7 or 8 people to do what they want to do, it just doesn't always work without a lot of practice, just to keep in mind. Now, Quixotic, you didn't do bad. I would say I could see you're a little bit more lax style than maybe how I am. That's fine. I would say just maybe call out your focus fire a little bit more. Because I will say there were a couple times where there were 5 targets up and a lot of people were shooting at different targets. So maybe just call it out a little bit more or tee it up and make sure you say it also.
Yep, I froze up a little bit there.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's something. It takes a lot of practice, guys.
Yeah, that's my problem too. I tunneled in.
So you know what? That's why we're doing this. So hopefully over time, it'll become second nature, become natural. You guys are going to have to learn from calling, and hopefully everybody will have the experience to call. You're not looking at the specific picture, you're looking at the general picture. You leave it up to everybody else on the team to focus out that tank. You're looking at what's happening next and what's after that. So it takes a bit of practice, but worth it. Delta Phoenix, is he here?
Yep, I'm here.
Are you on?
Yes, I am.
Are you joining us for okay, left is in, you're in the garage. Okay. So is everybody ready? Is everybody cool?
Okay. Yep.
Alright, so here's what you do. Yep, and you guys let me know when you're all ready.
So
take your time to do your strategy.
User left your
so once they're all gone...
User left your channel.
Alright, so is everybody down in Team 2 where they should be? I kill you for fun. Karma, please. Alright, so I think we got everybody.
That was a nice ram there, Loki, by the way.
Sorry, man.
User joined your channel.
Yeah.
Hey, Red Dog's here.
Hey, I ran the 64, so it was turnabout with fair play.
Hey, Red Dog, how are you doing?
It's all good.
Doing good. Doing good.
Yeah. We're doing some training, some team-on-team training. Have a little fun of that, getting other people to call and do strategies and whatnot. This will be up on the YouTube tonight. So, all right, awesome. let's guys quickly going. All right, so who's calling? Who's doing the strategy? What do you guys want to do here? What are you guys feeling? Who wants to step up and do it? Oh, come on, guys. It ain't going to be me.
All right. Come on. I'll do it.
Hey, Lachlan. All right. So, yet again, I'm just going to say the usual thing. Think about what your goal is, looking at their lineup maybe. What kind of tanks do you want for your tank composition? What are your goals? Where do you want people to go? So, you have fun.
Alright. Let's see here. T-37s. I want... Let's see. Gibson, I want you to go to the one... What is it? The E1?
Yeah, that Scout Bush?
That's Scout Bush. There, yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, you can do that? Alright, good. Then, this time, I'm going to be going to Hill on the 0 line. And everyone else, actually, I want to try a mid-push over the middle. But I want Koala, Quixotic, to call targets when they push over the top, over the middle there. I don't know. That's what I would think.
Okay. So then my question is for you. what are they doing when they get to the hill? Like, what is your entire plan? Are you trying to cap? Are you trying to kill them all? Are you trying to have a screen? Okay, so we're just going for the kills.
Yes.
Okay. Now, my second question is, when they all get to the center, do you want them all to move as a unit? Do you want them to separate? Do you want some to scout and some to stay back? What do you want to have happen?
I would say the other T-37s should move down south towards the cap to, I don't know, draw fire and go down there. The rest of the people use the ridge lines to, if they're on the east side, if they go west, then we'll do it. We'll just flip over and get them from the rear.
Okay. And the only thing I want to keep in mind, what is your... Nope. I think you're fine. I don't want to give too much away. I want you to learn from it. All right, so how's Team 2 doing? How are they doing? How are they doing?
So, like the T-37 keel here, do you want us to push to cap, or do you want to kind of us to pause in the middle and take some shots, then push?
I want you to go down to the cap. You know, heck, if you could sit on it and distract them a little bit. I know the noise in my head from hearing that cap just drives me insane.
Roger.
Okay.
Also, Hellcat, try to stay a little bit back so you don't get focus fire. Try to use your range to your benefit.
Roger that.
Need to get the Jeopardy theme song to play.
It'd also be easier if you had, like, the same tanks instead of just having, like, it all over the place, everybody Cromwell or so forth, wouldn't it?
Like, what do you mean? You wish we all had, like, similar ones?
Yeah, because it's like you got one Type 64, VK-2801, Cromwell, 3 T-37s, a Hellcat.
Did you ask? And see, you know, do people have yada yada?
No, it's okay. It's actually okay. I actually do like it. I don't know. I prefer derps.
It definitely seems like it would be easier to give orders if you can just say T-37s and Cromwells and KV-85s. So you've just got 3 tanks that you're naming.
Now you guys understand why I do it when we do strongholds.
Yeah. But Quixotic, I would definitely have you calling the shots down there if they're on the east. They're down there at the, like, you know, what's it go up to, G?
Wait, what? Say that again?
It goes down to G letter, right? On the map?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Sound to K.
Alright.
There's no I.
No.
In team.
But there is me.
Yep. So it backfires.
And neat.
And if you're dyslexic and bad at spelling, there's aim.
They're doing a pretty good job over there talking. I'm just curious if they're ready now. Only because I don't know if I waiting a while.
From that, you can get aim at teammate.
Yep, they're ready.
The only disadvantage they have on their side is that KV-85. That gun depression, only 3 degrees, really hurts them.
That is true. But I do have the health points in the armor, so it's always a trade-off.
Hey, I didn't crash. That's nice.
You want to go through it one more time before we get started?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Gibson, you're T-37. I want you to go down to the E1 line, spot that bush. I'm going to be going up to the hill on E0, spotting there. And, depending on that. But everyone else is going to be going to the E5, E6. Hellcat, you're going to be staying there when they go over there. Just make sure, you can use some of the cover to, shoot downwards. But the other T-37s are going to be going down to the cap and rolling on it, generally just distracting them as you move. Try to find cover when you're down there.
Alright, priority target for us is the Hellcat, then the KV-85. Focus the KV-85.
Gibson, when they're moving away, go down farther and see if you can take some pot shots from behind. Port them in the center. I'm moving up. I'm not using the hill. I'm going to help out center.
Alright, nice work.
I'm going to peek over the hill and take some shots in the chest. After the majority of them are spotted, rush them.
You got it.
Rush them. Focus T-37s, take them down.
Vehicle destroyed. Enemy armor is hit. Penetration.
The next T-37.
Okay. I'm out.
T-37 on the hill.
Watch the 64.
Blind shot him.
Alright, search for the Hellcat and clean up.
Hellcat's probably on the one line.
There he is.
Ready to fire. Enemy armor is hit.
Ooh, a whole 7 damage.
Target acquired. Penetration. Where'd they go?
Alright, good job, guys.
Alright, we're going to do one more match after this one.
User joined your
I
channel.
find it hard to focus fire.
I sucked in that one.
User
No, don't worry
joined your
about it.
channel. User joined your channel.
Good work focusing me, though.
Alright, so
User
is everyone
joined
from
your
Platoon
channel.
up coming up? Alright,
User
cool.
joined your channel.
As we're going to be doing one more match after this one, and then we're going to be all set for the night.
We didn't even kill the VK. What do you mean focusing you?
What? I was killed.
Oh.
I got shot like 10 times in a row.
Alright, so is everybody from Platoon 1 coming up?
Except for Soft, he's leaving. He has to go back to Unit 2.
Oh, okay. Alright, so did Soft already leave?
He's still in that channel, but yeah, he's out of our
okay.
team.
Alright, so after battle report, my team did alright. Leckland, that was an interesting strategy. Risky, but it worked. Quixotic, not bad calling. It was just basic focus fire. Team 2, I'm just curious, what was going on? Because I'm actually going to be with you guys this time. When we do our final battle, I just want to see how you guys are doing.
Yeah, we had the idea that you'd run down the backside of the railroad track and we'd get the proxies on before you crossed over.
Okay.
Now, what kind of surprises me that you were able to get that focused fire on that KV-85 buried back in that hollow before anybody could really get any shots back on you. I know that T-37's got gun depression, but damn.
Oh, it does. Basically, everything else on that lineup has gun depression. Yeah.
And, you guys split your forces, and you got your spots on, and I can't get spots on without being spotted. Even with a fully trained camo crew, camo net and all that, I get spotted, even if I'm sitting still.
Well, maybe it's how you're using the bushes. That's why I'm going to be with your team this time. I want to see if I can address maybe some of the problems you guys are having.
All right, I'm going to let somebody else call this because my strat's blowing.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You're going to learn over time. Learning. Exactly. It's all about learning. You only lose if you don't learn from a loss. But all right, so now Team 2, which was Team 1. Team 2, you guys know who you are. If you guys want, I'm going to let you guys now handle yourselves on your own for the final battle. You guys have a good idea what you're doing. You guys, yet again, elect a strategy, elect a commander, a caller. You guys know what you're doing, all right? If you guys want, pop down to Platoon 1. So
User
Team
left
2.
Your channel. Yep. User left your channel. User left your channel. User left your channel. User left your channel.
All right, guys. All right, guys, on Team 1.
User left your channel.
So we have everybody else that's on Team 1. Okie dokie. So, first of all, I just want to ask, does anybody here want to develop the strategy and or call?
User joined your channel.
Does anybody want to call or develop the strategy for this one?
I could, no Garth Meredith, but I've been doing that a lot if anybody else wants to.
User joined your channel.
I'm going to step out of this.
Well, the whole idea is whether you've done it a lot or not, it's if you feel comfortable. Even if you don't feel comfortable, go ahead and raise your hand up, and as a group, we'll talk it through. We'll see how.
I don't mind doing it.
All right, then go right ahead.
Okay.
So before we begin, I just want to keep in mind when you guys are doing this kind of stuff, yet again, you want to think about what is your goal. Are you going to cap? Are you going to kill them all? Are you going to see how it goes? What kind of team do you want? Do you want a heavy lineup, a medium lineup, a light lineup? Are you trying to flank? Are you trying to go down the center? Are you trying to play defensively, offensively? Something to keep in mind so you have something to think about and you're going for a goal. And alright, you may continue.
Right. Delta, what are you going to come in with? Okay, well...
What vehicle are you going to choose?
Well, I thought I had the T-37 set up.
You keep jumping in and out of the training room. Let's see. Let's go on the opposite side of the railroad track, so the east side. We'll have the 5916 go to the crossroads where the road meets the railroad and spot, while the rest of us go hill.
Okay.
85, I want you in the back, and I want the Hellcat near the island. Hellcat, be ready to move fast if we see anything. You might be moving up towards the 5916. Once we're on the hill, I want a T-37 spotting across to their cap, and I want a second one ready to run back and reset any cap that they start.
Okay, that seems solid.
5916, you want me to flex back and support cap if I need to?
Yeah. If you can get shots from the railroad track, that would be even better.
You want me on the 7 line, right?
Semi-bouncy hole. Or turret, whatever.
So, alright, just to let you know, by the way, something to do is once we get into game, you always do want to recap and re-go over your strategy.
Right.
Just so you know. Hey, Vector.
Hello, guys.
If you want to join us for training and you're in, are you in game right now?
Aaron Bassmaster is offline, by the way.
I will be in a second.
Ooh. Okay, cool, because if you go in, I can actually sub you in for Aaron. So what you're going to want to do is, the minute you get in, let me know. And then I will sub you in for Aaron, and down in Platoon 1, they will let you know what you're doing. We're doing some team versus team training. So.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Delta, do you know how to switch? Are you just switching your tank?
Yeah, I know how to switch it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Vector, what were you going to say?
East server, I presume?
Yeah, we usually do East server. We might start doing stuff on West server also.
Alright, Norgard, are we going to be on the hill side of the tracks?
Okay, I'm in.
Alright, awesome. I shall send you the invite. Yep, I see you there, Vector. I shall going to invite the clan again. And when you get in, I will sub you in for Aaron. Hey, Panzer Bill's in there. You know, I'm going to throw Panzer Bill.
We need a tier 6 there, Panzer Bill.
I don't know if he's even down here yet. Well, actually, I'm going to throw Panzer Bill over there, and then Vector gets in. Alright, fantastic. So if you want, Vector go down to... Alright, so
hey
Vector...
guys, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, doing alright. So Vector and Panzer Bill, if you guys want, go down to Platoon 1, and that team will tell you exactly what we're doing. Basically, we're doing Tier 6 team training stuff. So you guys will see once you get down there.
Okay, I can't hear you guys. I can see that somebody's talking. So I'm going to see what I got to do. Sorry.
Unmute your mic. Or, yeah. We can hear you, so it's... I don't know. Something set to mute.
I don't know. Hopefully he can get his stuff fixed.
Yeah. Could you move him down on Platoon 1?
I can't move anybody.
Okay.
That's yet again the current permission system. Does not help me too much. But that is okay. It's not my team speak, so...
You might want to tell Vector to switch over to Tier 6.
Well, I think they should be telling him.
User joined your channel. User left your channel. User left your channel.
Good, good, good. Okay, they know what they're doing.
T-150. Alright, it's got some armor and some punch. And Gibson, could you turn off whatever that is?
Panzer Bill, we're down here.
Turn off whatever, what's happening?
Where are you guys at?
Every keystroke you make.
Oh, really?
You're down in Platoon 1.
Oh, Platoon 1. Okay, sorry. Give me a second.
Okay, yeah, I'll fix that.
You've got voice activation on rather than...
Yeah, I'll fix that. I guess the sensitivity changed on my program. I run software with my headset, so I guess it might have got reset earlier. Right. Sorry about that.
Okay, the E2's high rate of fire, good armor, so we got to contend with that, and the T-150's got a good punch. So they got two good punchers out there.
Well, the T-150 does not have gun depression, so I really doubt they'll go hill with it.
Same thing with the KV-85.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's why he's towards the back.
Yeah, there's
so they don't focus fire him first.
There's a good spot for the KV-85 on the side of the hill where he doesn't need gun depression, he just turns his turret to the side.
Now, the issue
snipe
is...
the town.
Yeah, but we're not going to be fighting in, around, or over the town. Both teams have speed, so we're not going to be hunkered down. They won't be hunkered down.
Right.
Now, if he's over there and they cross over to engage me, that might be a different story.
That's why the 85 is going to be in the back, so he can support you when we're going up the hill.
If he's up on that railroad crossing, and behind that one car that's turned kind of sideways, that's a good place for a tank with no gun depression.
It also depends whether we spawn north or south.
I believe we're going to be north.
We're north. We're north spawn. If you look on the map, the green side is where we spawn.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully my client doesn't crash. That'd be
No guard, you know, I could go to an M6 if you'd like.
Yeah, what were you wanting from me?
I don't I mean, I could go to another heavy tank if you like. The M6 can actually work that that center area relatively well, even though that's got a soft turret.
No, I think this lineup would be fine.
All that'll do is give us a hit point advantage. The slow rate of fire would cost it.
Yeah. I like a
Are they
fast
ready yet?
I have no idea.
They're stratting.
So. This is going to be such a long video on YouTube.
Recording this.
Exactly where do you want me on hill? Sort of the backside, towards the front.
Make sure you tell us what vehicle you're driving when you say me.
Hellcat.
I believe, did you want Hellcat Island?
Yeah, I'm talking about like where positioned on the island, sort of towards the near the water. 0. Okay.
Yeah, there's a fort there that you can cross over if you need to move.
Yeah, there's a little hill right there, like the two line, like K2, no, B2,
yeah,
or whatever the hell it is, that you can hide behind.
Yeah, because I don't go over there much, so.
Try finding a spot. I don't know if you can. That has eyes on the cap as well.
You'd have to go high up to the 0.
Yeah.
And the problem is, if they move to the near side of the cap, he's out of fire line.
Alright, so you guys have a decent strategy down? You guys all set? You guys have an idea?
I'm ready.
Alright, awesome. So let's start.
And my client crashed.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. I hate updates.
Should someone switch over and tell them not to move? Oh, my client crashed too.
Okay.
User
Should
left
someone go
your
over to the
channel.
other? Yeah.
While they're gone, we'll cover this.
User joined your channel.
Alright. I went down and told them to hold up for just a second because somebody else had client crashes.
So might as well go over the strategy and just ping on the map where you need people to be.
Okay. Well, all the T-37s, all 6 of us, are going here. I want the Hellcat here and the 85 behind
it. It's not in yet. Hellcat's not in
Hold
yet.
on, Black Wolf. Don't go anywhere.
Whoa, Black Wolf, where are you going? Go back to spawn.
$59.16, you're going to go here-ish and try spotting anything that comes over here. Hopefully they're not going to go here, but if they do, we have an 85 there that's going to cover you, and a Hellcat in the B0 line.
How you doing, Mike Rock?
It's like 89% loaded. Gotta get over that hump.
Yeah. So, what's the goal for the T-37s?
We're going to push hill. Try getting spots on anything that's coming here.
Okay.
Because I have a feeling they're not going to go this way or the same strategy there, but come up.
What's the goal for the Hellcat if we push over the hill? What's his job?
Hellcat's going to be here until we do push over the hill. Once over the hill, he'll come up and meet with the 59-16 and see if he can spot there or here.
Okay, what's the KV-85 doing?
He's going to be following us up the hill.
Okay, good.
Okay, I'm back. I'm here.
But he's going to be in the back. Alright, everyone ready?
I'll go on.
Right, go.
I just want to make it fair so everybody kind of knew to go at the same time.
Unless they're already in position.
If you get eyes on the Type 64, the E2, open fire at will. They're the better players and they have the better guns. We're probably not going to see the Hellcat first off, so. Oh. Okay, just Yeah, he's falling back, so I don't think they're there. Do any of you T-37s have, what is it?
I was in spot.
Awesome. Okay, they're up. Focus fire, Cromwell. Alright, keep going. 85, meet up with the 5916. Nope, we're getting shots. Somebody find a bush and see if they can spot the...
I got it.
Awesome.
Alright, do you want me to come to the 8516?
T-37s, line up on the hill, see if you can fire on
They're
it.
below the ridge.
Hellcat,
Yeah, they won't be able to.
Get them from here. We gotta go.
Alright, Hellcat, come up and see if you can support. Come with me and we're gonna go over. Alright, let's go. He's gonna shoot me. Yep, get him. He's set cap. Awesome, let's go. Hellcat, do peekaboo, they're moving fast. Alright. I can't see who has the most points over there, so...
Remember, folks, slow HE.
Awesome. Alright, what's over there? Focus fire T-37s.
Gotta get that one that's peekabooing on our Hellcat.
I'm working on him. Got him.
Okay, okay.
Keep going T-37s, let's go. Get in there.
Permission to engage.
Focus fire that last T-37.
The T-150s.
Right, get the T-150. Alright, keep going. Get that E2. Everyone over, get in there. There you go.
Good job, guys. Not bad, not bad. I will say I did like the strategy. I liked how you kept most of our forces from that one flank on the 7 through 9 line. That's a good way of handling that map. Typically how that map works is either you take to the 1 through 6 line or the 7 through 9 line.
User joined your channel. User joined your channel.
Alright, so quick little aftermatch summary. Team 2, I want to hear your guys' summary. How do you guys feel? What happened? What did you do well? What could have done better? I want to hear some dialogue.
I called the match. Personally, I was trying to cover the 3 zones of approach.
Yes.
And what I had was a alternative plan if I saw y'all moving in force to push the cap or to flank you. Because y'all came over the hill, flanking was not, I did not consider to be a viable option, so I implemented a rush cap. Circle the first person.
That was the correct move. I would agree with what you did, but keep going.
Really, that was the summary. Y'all were able to respond faster than what I expected. I probably could have waited just a little bit longer to spring the cap rush to get you more committed to the south.
See, that's what the more advanced stuff of knowing when to push and when to not. Like when to start that next phase or that next stage of the cap. I will say I did like your guys' strategy. The only thing is, I would say on Prokhorovka, don't forget how important the hill is. That's something to never forget about, especially when you have a team that's very light. If you look at our tank composition on Team 1, we had such a light team, except we did have a KV-85, obviously, with the Hellcat. But besides that, everything else was really light, so typically it's either going to be hill or the center. But you guys did well, though. What do you guys feel like you did well on Team 2? Because I know a few things I can say, but I want to hear it from you guys.
I would have liked to had, instead of push cap, flanked around and tried to take out the guys on the hill, because we still had a Hellcat there.
Okay. But
did nothing well.
I think that we
actually,
probably could have waited.
Really well.
No, guys. I want to hear. I want to hear what you guys. I want to hear what you guys did well, because you guys did a bunch of things well.
I'm holding my hand up.
We definitely focused down the KV-85 pretty quickly.
That I would agree. What else did you guys do well?
We communicated well. You couldn't have known that. When originally we were all going to go cap, but because I saw the 56 or 59-16,
yeah,
I asked, should I go, like try to cut them off at the pass, right? So to hopefully prevent the one tank from sniping, and so the communication flow went really well.
See, that guy's communication is key. You will never win a game if you don't talk to each other. That is like 60% of the work if you guys at least communicate. I will admit, the Team 1, we did have a lot of good stuff. We still had a few things we could work on. But the point is that it was more or less of the strategy rather than you guys as players. It was one of those things where we just did something you guys couldn't predict, which is something that I will want to say is it'll happen. You could have the best laid strategy, but if someone does something that you didn't think of, it'll happen. But just make sure to remember stuff like that can happen. Now, I want to hear from Team 1. What are some of the things we did well? Name a couple of things that we did well first.
Our arrangement was very good. The Hellcat was close enough to respond, as was the KV-85, considering its speed. And being put in the middle to get that initial spot on their rush is what won the whole battle. Is when he put me over there. I saw that group. If they'd have rushed in the in the middle of that plane, I wouldn't have seen them until they were on cap.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I was kind of clueless. I couldn't really find a bush over in the island, but when I turned around and went back, the KV-85 made a big sacrifice and just went for it over the hill, giving me opportunities to make shots and get the cap points down.
Yeah, I threw my whole hit point pool away, trying to get those resets.
And that was something that if we hadn't done that, Team 2 would have won. You guys were pretty close for a while there, making the cap. Don't feel like you guys lost. No, you guys were really damn close. It was the fact that this is the issue, is a lot of teams don't realize that sometimes it's worth, when you have a lot of tanks, sacrificing a tank to make sure you can get the rest of your main force over to support fire. If you guys had waited on Team 2 and the north, we had commit more to the southern flank, you guys would have totally dominated. But it was just that little bit, That's when stepping up from like a beginner caller to an intermediate caller, which is what we're going to be doing with part of this training. Right, with Team 1, what are some of the things that we maybe didn't do so well? Or some of the things that we did poorly?
The 37 stayed back there in the middle an awful long time to get their snipes in.
Yeah.
With those inaccurate guns.
So, this is something that I actually did bring up that I did want to bring up, is the fact that when you're calling something like that, I know it sounds weird, I don't know if you guys listen to me call sometimes it's good to repeat something, especially multiple times. It's until people do it. So it's one of those things like, I don't know if you guys have heard me do it, like, T-37s, keep moving, let's go. Not because people aren't listening, but because sometimes they don't realize that if they meant move forward from 20 meters ago to there, or do they need to go another forward 10 meters or 20 meters, or what exactly do you mean? If someone just keeps yelling and keep going forward, you'll just keep pushing forward. And maybe that's what they want you to do. Maybe sometimes there isn't always time to say there, okay, T-37s, you got to go over to this corner, and then this corner, and then go to this square. Sometimes you have to repeat a simple direction to get them going in one place because maybe that's easier. Or maybe it's more direct. So, I will say, I did like your calling, Raylan, for Team 1. But I would say maybe you want to be a little bit more informative with people, maybe. Speak out more. And guys, if you guys are a caller, don't feel free to say stuff. Don't feel like, oh, everybody's looking at me or listening to me. Yeah, they're gonna. That if they're listening to you, they're doing their job. It's you got to realize. I know it takes a while to feel comfortable in the position. I know that's why I feel very comfortable and I come across like that. But as you guys do it more often, it'll feel a little bit better. Now it's a little bit nervous, but it'll feel better over time. That won't be a big concern.
Panzer Bill, I have a question.
Oh, I have an answer.
So, okay, so when I was over there and eventually I got killed, is it good to just say T-37 dead, or just be quiet?
No.
I mean, what's the procedure?
Here's the thing.
User joined
Typically,
your channel.
unless the caller specifies, you usually kind of keep quiet about that. Typically, because everybody else can kind of see. We could see on our team screen, we could see in the bottom right hand where we're told, and we could see on the very top. And typically, unless you are literally on the other side of the map from the caller, it's fine. Here's the thing. If you were the only tank on the team to die and you were on a scouting mission, and you're like 800 meters away from the team, that's different. But in the middle of the heat of battle, or the climax of battle, like where we just were, that's when you kind of don't say much of anything.
Okay.
The only thing you can do, as I see some teams do it, where you guys know in game if you hold down Z and you move your mouse around, you can get a bunch of different options. Or you can just press, I think, like F2 or F3, something like that, whichever one's the negative one. Some people will press the negative key when they die. I don't always agree with that because I think that conflicts if the caller asks something. But I've seen some teams do that, or I've seen some teams do like the fallback or whatever the other options are in the heat of battle. But I'll say generally, if you die, it's usually well enough known that you've died.
Another thing, though, is in the scrum of battle, if you're killed by an unseen vehicle and you can get an idea of what direction the shot came from, that is information that the caller could use.
That is definitely part of relevant information.
In our first battle, when that Hellcat was shooting at people, I said he's up there in A1, A2. He was in that area. You know, just knowing where you've got a particular vehicle, especially a long-range gun, is good for the battle caller to know.
Okay, makes sense.
Yes, that's always something you want to inform people of. When there's a time, when the caller's not speaking, when you got a second, definitely let them know with things like that. Say, potential target, A1, and then ping it on the map, and then you're fine.
Yeah, and don't jump on the caller when he's calling strat.
No. But alright, guys, so I kind of want to end the training session here. I want to hear your guys' opinions. Do you think this training session was helpful? Was it not? I kind of want to hear your guys' feedback from tonight. What do you guys think?
This is Snowguard. May I make a quick comment with just re-saying the cap?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, so you know how the T-150 is a heavily armored tank? Most of us won't be able to reliably penetrate his armor. One thing is, if you load HE and even if you hit his tracks or damage a module, it will reset his cap points.
Yes.
So, yes. Go ahead, Norbert.
So that is one thing that I've done with past clans. If we're having to rush to reset the cap, our first couple of shots we take at the enemy tanks are with HE to make sure we reset the cap points.
And I'd like to make a point. There's one thing I did not see with that team that made it to the cap, is you knew exactly what side of the map we would be engaging from. And nobody was hiding behind wrecks. I mean, there were, but the people that were dying quickly, that lost their cap points, weren't moving into a position where their wrecks would provide cover for those people that still had cap points.
Yeah. I even told them, I'm in the E2. I was like, everybody with points get behind me, but no one did.
Well, that's part of practice.
The call did go out. They did respond to cover the first person on cap.
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll just take
Sometimes
practice.
in the heat of battle, that's a little hard to do when you're trying to focus down teams that are taking shots at you. That's
then you know what?
150 would have been a good wall, but he got there too late.
You know what, guys? I think we might do a practice with that. I'm going to note that down. That we should do a practice with cap points, meaning that if we call protect this tank, and you guys have to protect the tank while a few other people are shooting around it. I think that might be one that would be good for us to do, just because not many people actually practice that. The actual capture point dynamics.
If you got the cap points, don't try to fight people to get around them when they're trying to cover you.
No.
Yeah, see, I was in front of Karma because he was the first guy on point, on cap. But then he died, and I didn't realize he died, so I was still trying to protect him. But he was, he was just a shell of a man by that time.
Exactly.
And so what I did when I tried to reset is when I pulled up, I auto-aimed that first tank, took my shot back down, and I unlocked and then auto-aimed on another tank so that when I came up, I would automatically have a line shot on it. You know, and I kept doing that until I was dead. And that's a good thing when you know you've got multiple tanks in the cap zone, is to use your auto aim, because especially if you're using HE, because that will distribute your reset points around, because I reset probably 30 points.
Oh yeah, and that's something to always keep in mind, guys. You know, it's worth doing things like that.
Yeah, and poking over the ridge, I wouldn't have actually got the reset unless I locked on, because the vehicle disappeared as soon as I shot, but luckily I was locked on as soon as I poked over the ridge, and I got him, and it like reset it down to like 20.
So, alright guys, in closing, yet again, any final questions, comments, concerns? Going once?
I like that we delayed the start on that because of the crashes.
Yeah.
We might want to, during trainings especially.
Well, that's something, guys, we should be doing. Anytime someone disconnects, make it known, and we will wait. That's why I set it for 30 minutes, guys. Not because the battle's going to last 30 minutes, because we need it, in case if it happens. And I expect that anytime during a battle, if someone disconnects, if someone calls it out, everybody stops what they're doing. It's like in a demolition derby when they call stop. Everybody stops what they're doing immediately, because it's not necessarily fair. You know, we're training for a reason, and I know you're supposed to emulate real life, but we're trying to do it in a controlled manner. So that's something I would expect.
They still do demolition derbies.
Oh, over here at the Brockton Fair they do it. It's kind of fun. I love it. But alright guys, in closing, I thank you all for coming here. I thank you all for taking your time. Today ended up being really long for training. It ended up being about an hour and a half, but I really feel like we went through a lot of information. This is something we're going to be reinforcing. Tomorrow night, we're going to be doing a little bit more of this, not quite as long, but we're going to be doing some battles, going to be doing some more learning, and things of that sort. I thank you all for participating, and we shall see y'all tomorrow.
Have a good night.
User left your channel.